It happened again.
5 days into this World Cup, a favourite walked out expecting 3 points. Australia beat Turkey 2-0. 2 clean strikes, Irankunda, then Metcalf, on a counter-attack so cold it looked rehearsed. A giant shutout on a Tuesday. Here's the secret nobody tells a new fan. The upset isn't a glitch in the World Cup. It isn't an accident. It's the soul of the whole thing, the reason 200 nations bother to dream at all. But over 70 years, the upset has quietly changed shape. It used to be a kill, a giant struck down, dead on the grass, in front of the world. Now the giant gets strangled, held, frustrated, denied a win it was absolutely sure it had earned. A point stolen feels like a trophy lost. Tonight, I'll show you exactly how it's done, and by the end, the live scores from this week will read like a confession. Start at the beginning. 1950. Brazil. The host nation needed a draw to be crowned champions in the deciding match. They were unstoppable, and they knew it. Newspapers printed the victory the morning of the game. Nearly 200,000 people packed the brand new Maracanã, the largest crowd ever to watch a football match. They came to celebrate. Brazil scored just after half-time. The stadium shook. The party began. And then, Uruguay refused to die. Schiaffino equalized. Then, with 11 minutes left, Gigia struck again. 2-1 Uruguay. And the loudest stadium on earth went completely, eerily silent. You could hear a man weep in the next seat. They call it the Maracanazo, the day football learned a giant could be slain. People in Brazil never forgot it. Some never recovered. This was the earthquake. Every upset since lives in its shadow. After 1950, the outsiders learned they could break in. And the very same year, in the same Brazil, they did it again. England, the inventors of the game, lost 1-0 to the United States. The goal? Scored by Joe Gaetjens, a part-timer born in Haiti. He threw himself at a shot and headed it home. Bookmakers had the Americans at 500-1. The New York Times assumed the Wire report was a hoax, a typo. 1966. North Korea were debutantes. Total minnows, nobody's idea of a football nation. They beat two-time champions Italy 1-0 and knocked them out. The scorer, Pak Du-ik, became a legend. A town in northern England, Middlesbrough, adopted the team on the spot. They followed them all the way to the quarter-finals. 1990, the opening match of the whole tournament. Cameroon faced the defending champions, Argentina. Cameroon had 2 players sent off. They finished the game with 9 men, and still won 1-0. They called it the Miracle of Milan. 2002. Another opener. Senegal, playing in their first World Cup ever, beat France, the defending world and European champions. Bouba Diop scored, dropped his shirt on the grass, and the whole team danced around it. The holders went home without scoring a single goal all tournament. You met some of these underdogs' grandchildren 2 videos ago. This, right here, is their bloodline. Then the Giants started to fear the group stage itself. Not the final, the first week. 2018, Germany, the reigning world champions, 4-time winners, needed a win against South Korea just to survive. They lost 2-0. Both Korean goals came in stoppage time at the death. It was Germany's first group stage exit since 1938, and they weren't alone. France, Italy, Spain, Germany. 4 straight defending champions all dumped out in the first round. 2022. Lionel Messi's Argentina arrived unbeaten in 36 matches. Messi scored an early penalty, and then, in their very first game, Saudi Arabia scored twice in 6 minutes and beat them 2-1. One of the biggest shocks the tournament had ever seen. But here's the twist that matters. Argentina lost that game and still won the whole World Cup. The ambush stung, it didn't kill. And that same tournament, Morocco became the first African team to ever reach a World Cup semi-final. They knocked out Belgium, then Spain, then Portugal. One giant after another. The favourites weren't just losing anymore, they were starting to plan around the fear. So here's the thesis, the hinge of everything. The modern giant killing usually isn't a win at all. It's a draw. A smothering, suffocating draw that feels like a defeat for the favourite. Want to know how to actually kill a giant in 2026? Here's the playbook. 4 rules. Rule 1. The low block. 10 men behind the ball, 2 banks of defenders, no space, no air. You don't attack the giant, you bore it to death. You make the beautiful game ugly. Rule 2. The keeper's perfect night. 1 man, possessed, saving everything thrown at him. A wall in gloves. Every underdog story has one. Rule 3. The lone counter dagger. You absorb pressure for 80 minutes. Then you break once, 3 passes, and you make that single chance count. Like Australia did this week. And Rule 4. The quiet one. The favourite's own fear. A draw earns a minnow a festival back home, but for a giant, a draw is a crisis, a back page, a manager under pressure, a nation that panics. So the underdog doesn't even need to win anymore, it just needs to not lose. Hold the giant for 90 minutes, and the giant strangles itself. Now look at the live scores. Watch the playbook breathe. Brazil, 5-time champions, held 1-1 by Morocco. The giant strangled, exactly as drawn up. Saudi Arabia 1-1 Uruguay, and Uruguay, finalists, needed an 80th minute equaliser just to escape with a single point. Egypt 1-1 Belgium, and Belgium only survived a second-half own goal in Seattle. They didn't earn the draw, they got bailed out. New Zealand 2-2 Iran, and little New Zealand led that game not once, but twice at the Sophie Stadium. And then there's Group C, the toughest group with Brazil in it. Top of that group, right now? Scotland, who beat Haiti 1-0. And Haiti, the smallest name in this whole series. Bottom of the group, but there, on the same grass as Brazil. 5 days ago, that sentence was a dream. Tonight, it's a fixture. The hosts? The United States just won 4-1. But the headline isn't dominance, it's the wobble. So remember this. The upset is not the exception to the World Cup. The upset is the World Cup. From a silenced Maracanã to a strangled Brazil this week, it's the same heartbeat. The belief that the giant can fall. And this tournament has 48 teams, more than ever before. More nations, more games, more underdogs, more nights where a nobody holds a somebody to a draw. The math has never ever been kinder to the giant killer, which means the next earthquake, the next Maracanazo, could be tomorrow afternoon, in a city near you. But here's the catch. Everything you just watched happened in the group stage. And in the group stage, a strangled giant survives. A draw, a point, and it limps on to the next game. But soon, that mercy disappears. In the knockout round, there's no limping. One game, no draws, no second chances. One bad night, one perfect underdog, and a giant is gone for 4 whole years. That's where the giant killing stops being a wobble and turns lethal. That's the bracket, and that's exactly what's next. Subscribe so you're there when the first one falls.